Welcome back. In the last episode, you followed us our journey all the way from Holland back to the UK. Now it was time to get the boat ready for the next part of our adventure. We had the boat lifted out at Boat Folk Marina in Portland in Dorset and had her put up on the dry stack. Took the life raft off as that needed to be serviced, and then it was time to check out the inside of the boat, see if it was alright. Well, what else would you do when it's a really rubbish day in England but come on the boat? So we've been doing a few jobs. There's little things to do on board, things like gluing that back down, taking the covers off the bed. Bought her some new jib sheets, trying to find the inverter. We've got to sort out that mess under there at some point, which we'll do another day. Sort our front cushions, fix the toilet seat so that's all a bit better, and make it smell better as well. These are our mattresses basically. We've taken the covers off. I'm going to give them a wash. There's no leaks or anything, so Eddie's just measuring the anchor. Whilst we're in Portland, we had so many storms, and if anyone can tell me what that is in the comments, let me know. There was lots of scraping, all the antifoul had to come off, and it was a big job. We kept the name, but we changed the font, and this is the really satisfying peeling off of the outer sheet. Oh, look at that. Lovely. So much better than the grey name that was on there before. We have to have the Polish registration and the Gdansk on the back. Went over to Southampton to pick up our new ocean safety life raft. It was very heavy. And a little dance, putting on the overalls to do some more sanding on the bottom of the boat. We got told there was 100 metres of chain that came with the boat, but we weren't quite sure that was right, so we thought we'd better test out how many there were. Looks like a little pile of poo. Luckily we had a good mate of ours called Fraser who works on super yachts come and help us measure the chain, put the new anchor on, and this very expensive swivel. Mind you, trust me, at this stage we were learning how expensive it was to actually buy bits for the boat, and this was only the very start. Ooh, shiny. Once that was all done up tight, it was time to load the anchor back up. Eddie was pulling it by hand. Nearly there. Way! We did get some sunny days in between, and here we are testing out our new tender in Lyme Regis. And it was time to anti-foul the other side. Honestly, it took so many coats, it took ages. This is just a little snippet of it. Look how fast he is. And then the satisfying bit, peeling off the masking tape at the end. Any other yachties would know exactly how good that feels, as long as there's no residue left and you've got good masking tape. Sometimes it leaves a horrible sticky mess afterwards if it's been on there too long, but luckily we managed it quite easily. Then we had Rupert Perry from Rob Perry Marine in Dorset coming to do the service on our engine. They were fantastic as usual. But look at the state of the boat, all of our cushions up the front. What a mess. And we had to have our rigging check before we went. Unfortunately, it turned out not to be very good news. We had to have the mast taken down due to the design of the rigging. Meant that there was one little bit that wasn't right, but rather than doing it with the mast upright, it meant we had to take it down to replace the bit. We had to disconnect all the electrics from the bottom of the mast, and then we had to get a crane to come in at huge expense, unfortunately for us, to lift the mast off. However, we did have Andy and his son help us taking the mast down. He explained everything, how it was going to work, and organised the crane. The whole thing cost just over £7,000, which was a massive chunk out of our already very small budget. Whilst the rigging was being redone, we had the sails to be inspected by our good friend Alex. Had to put a clip in of Eddie being silly, of course. Well, the drogues arrived. Hello? Whilst all this was going on, we had to move out of my parents' house and into this little beach chalet. Anyway, I won't go into that too much. I was able to do my painting, carry on getting some income coming in, but it was a lovely place to relax, take our mind off everything for a bit. Look at that view. We were very lucky to have all these friends of ours that could get us out of tight situations. Oh, no, I'm not going through that. By the first week of October, it was time to put the mast back up. We were so relieved to have it back up, but it had delayed us immensely. And also now we were kind of deciding it was probably a bit late to start crossing the Bay of Biscay safely, really. Whilst we made up our minds what to do next, Fraser came back and helped us put the battens back in our mainsail, and then put the mainsail back up in the sail bag on top of the boom.
Push.
Come on, you bastard! Here it comes, here it comes! It's a boy! Oh! There we go.
Oh,
Look at that.
Filming it.
With the boom and sails back up, it was now time to find a weather window so we could head to Dartmouth, which is where we decided to eventually spend the winter, as it had taken so long getting the mast and the rigging redone that we'd kind of missed our weather window to cross the Bay of Biscay. There had been endless storms back to back ever since we had the boat lifted out of Portland, so we kind of lost hope a little bit, but we were resigned to the fact that we'd spend a nice winter in Dartmouth. That's if there was ever going to be a break in the weather. This is one of the biggest storms that we had in Lyme Regis. Look at all that water coming over the cob. There was so much destruction. We really appreciate you watching our videos, and I know this one's not the most interesting, but I promise that the next time we'll be heading back down to Dartmouth and then we'll be going across to France. So stay tuned. Our riggers from Portland, I'll tag them at the end of the video. They were so professional and they're really well recommended by everyone around. Finally the mast is back on after a very long day. It's time to put the battens back in the sail. There's our mate Fraser again helping us. Excuse the innuendos, but that's just how our humour is. Now we had the sail bag to put back on the boom and put the boom up, topping lift, etc. and trying to remember where all the ropes go. Eddie was very excited that our mast got put back up. So our original plan was to leave in September to cross the Bay of Biscay, but storm after storm after storm just delayed us and delayed us. We were still staying in the chalet on the beach at this point. Look at those waves coming over the cob in Lyme Regis. There was so much damage. Definitely not a good time to leave the UK.